You are not anxious because life is cruel. You are anxious because you have surrendered your throne. Yes, your throne, the seat of your mind, the kingdom of your soul. You were born a sovereign, yet you live like a prisoner. Chains invisible, yet heavier than iron. Shackles forged not by your enemies, but by your own thoughts. And every second you remain bound, anxiety feeds. Look around you. This is the age of abundance, yet souls starve. This is the age of connection, yet hearts are lonely. This is the age of information, yet minds are drowning. We live in cages of glass and pixels. Notifications shriek like alarms in the night. Your phone glows brighter than the sun, and yet your spirit flickers like a dying candle. You wake tired, you sleep restless, you breathe, but you are suffocating. The modern man has traded his sword for a screen. The modern woman has traded her silence for noise. We have lost the war before we even saw the enemy. You feel it everywhere, in your chest, when the heart races for no reason, in your stomach, when knots form at the thought of tomorrow, in your head, when your mind spins in endless loops, rehearsing disasters that have not yet come. Anxiety, the silent plague, no blood, no cough, no fever, only chains of thought, strangling from within. You think you are weak, but weakness is not the truth. The truth is this: you are untrained. You were never taught how to rule your mind. You were taught math, history, science, but not how to command your thoughts. And so, like a fortress with open gates, you are invaded. Invaded by fear, invaded by doubt, invaded by desire. Picture this: a man lying awake at 3 a.m. His phone screen glows like a curse. He scrolls, each swipe a blade, carving comparison into his flesh. Everyone is richer, everyone is happier, everyone is free. And he is drowning in a sea of his own thoughts. Picture her, a woman walking home after being ghosted. Her heart pounds like war drums. Am I not enough? Did I do something wrong? Every unanswered text becomes a dagger, every silence a scream. Her worth dissolves like salt in water. Picture them, the worker staring at 237 unread emails, the student paralyzed before an exam, the parent crushed by bills. Anxiety is the common thread, a noose tied around every neck, and yet most accepted as fate. This is life, they whisper. This is normal. Number, this is not normal. This is not life. This is slavery. You feel it, don't you? The racing pulse, the shallow breath, the endless cycle of what if, what if, what if. Anxiety is not just discomfort, it is theft. It steals your mornings, it poisons your nights, it robs you of presence, of joy, of love, of peace. And the cruelest part, it convinces you that you are powerless. But listen, you are not powerless. You have simply forgotten the weapon. 2,000 years ago, men walked through storms darker than ours. Wars, plagues, betrayals, torture, and yet they stood calm, unbroken, unmoved. They were not gods. They were not saints. They were men, like you, like me. But they carried a blade sharper than fear, stronger than doubt. And that blade was Stoicism. Imagine a man standing tall while Rome burned. Imagine another condemned to exile, yet calm as if on holiday. Imagine a slave, yes, a slave, speaking words that would outlive emperors. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. 3 names, 3 lives. 3 torches that lit a path through storms darker than ours. They did not escape anxiety by chance. They engineered peace. They built mental armor so thick the arrows of life could not pierce them. The first lesson, control, 9 o'clock to 10:30. Epictetus once said, "Some things are in our control and others not." Stop. Read that again. Tattoo it into your bones. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the market. You cannot control what others think of you. You cannot even control tomorrow. But you can control this. Your choices, your actions, your judgments. That is all. And that is everything. Anxiety is born from demanding control over what was never yours. Peace is born from ruling only what belongs to you. When the storm rages, the fool curses the sky. The Stoic adjusts his sails. The second lesson, perception, 1030 to 12. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote in his journal, "Not for us, not for history, but for himself." You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Do you see it? Events are neutral. The job loss, the breakup, the rejection, the illness, they are not good, they are not bad. They are nothing until your mind paints them. If you call it disaster, it becomes disaster. If you call it training, it becomes strength. Perception is the brush. Your life is the canvas. And anxiety is just bad art. Seneca whispered a truth so sharp, it cuts fear at the root. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. How many sleepless nights have you lost to futures that never arrived? How many moments of joy have you crushed under the weight of what if? Death is the only certainty. Everything else is illusion. Anxiety thrives when you believe you have something to lose. But when you embrace mortality, loss loses its teeth. You stop clinging. You stop begging. You live. Control, perception, mortality. These three are not philosophy. They are weapons. Control is the shield, blocking the arrows you cannot stop. Perception is the sword, cutting through the illusions of fear. Mortality is the fire, burning away what doesn't matter. With them, the Stoics did not avoid storms. They walked through storms untouched. Now imagine if you lived by these truths. Your boss yells, but you ask, is this in my control? Number, peace. Your partner leaves, but you ask, is this disaster or training? Training, peace. Your time is short, but you remember, I will die. So let me live now. Peace. Anxiety withers. Calm rises. You begin to taste freedom. This is the beginning. This is the weapon. Science gives anxiety a name. The amygdala. A small almond-shaped cluster in your brain. Primitive, ruthless. Does not care about your dreams, your ambitions, or your peace. Its job? Survival, fight, flight, freeze. But here's the catch. In the modern world, it cannot tell the difference between a lion's roar and a boss's email. Your ancestors faced predators. You face deadlines. The amygdala reacts the same. And so, you panic, you overthink, you drown, unless you learn to master it. Remember Epictetus. Some things are in our control, others not. Neuroscience confirms it. When you shift focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable, your prefrontal cortex, the rational commander, activates. It calms the amygdala. It weakens fear. Modern therapy calls this cognitive reframing. The Stoics called it reason. Different words, same weapon, same victory. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Today, psychologists call this CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, one of the most effective treatments for anxiety ever discovered. How does it work? By changing the story your brain tells itself. A rejection letter arrives. Your amygdala screams, danger, failure, doom. But CBT and Marcus remind you, this is not disaster, this is perception, and perception can be rewritten. Science has proven, if you change the lens, you change the feeling. If you change the thought, you change the life. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years ago. Seneca's blade was sharpest here. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Science nods in agreement. Brain scans show that anticipatory anxiety, worrying about the future, lights up the same brain regions as real physical pain. You are not suffering from life, you are suffering from imagination. And yet, studies on exposure therapy show something profound. When you face your fears directly, the brain rewires. Fear circuits weaken, calm grows stronger. Seneca was right. Most pain is imagined. And when you look death in the eye, the imagination collapses. You are free. Here is the fusion. Philosophy sharpened by science. Control the controllable. Activates the prefrontal cortex. Reframe perception. Calms the amygdala. Meditate on mortality. Weakens anticipatory anxiety. This is not mysticism. This is not self-help fluff. This is biology. This is war. And Stoicism is the boldest, sharpest weapon ever forged against fear. Now imagine, you walk into the storm of modern life, social media chaos, financial stress, heartbreak, betrayal, but your brain is trained like a soldier. The amygdala screams, the Stoic laughs. Science proves it, the Stoics lived it, and you can claim it. This is where anxiety begins to die. Streets filled with silence and death. The Antonine Plague sweeps through the empire. Children cough, soldiers collapse, families burn their dead. And at the center of this storm, a man sits with a candle, the emperor himself, Marcus Aurelius, ruler of the known world. But tonight, he is just a man with trembling hands. His friends are dead, his children are dying, his empire is cracking, and yet he writes not speeches, not orders, not complaints, but reminders to himself to endure, to remain calm, to accept death as nature's law. Listen to his whisper through time. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live, while it is in your power. Be good. This was not philosophy in a classroom. This was a weapon in a plague. Now, shift the scene. A dark Roman courtyard. A slave is dragged by his master. The man's leg is twisted, snapped, left broken forever. That man is Epictetus. His chains clink with every step. His body screams in pain, but his spirit untouched. He tells his students later, almost laughing, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus can conquer my will." Do you see it? Freedom was not granted to him by Rome. Freedom was forged inside him. And when his students asked how he endured, he said simply, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Science calls it resilience. The Stoics called it virtue, but to Epictetus it was survival. Rome again, but this time a different room. A man sits calmly, a cup of poison in his hand. Seneca, philosopher, statesman, ordered by Emperor Nero to die. No pleading, no fear, only acceptance. He lifts the cup. He drinks. And as his life fades, he speaks words that echo like steel. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. The room falls silent, but his words still breathe today. Seneca's death was not defeat. It was victory over fear, over anxiety, over life itself. Now, shift again. Not Rome, not marble halls, not torches, but here, now, your world. A man sits in the glow of a phone screen at 3 a.m., eyes red, heart racing, mind trapped in a prison of endless scrolling, a slave, not to chains, but to dopamine, to comparison, to anxiety. He checks likes, he checks messages, he checks the mirror and hates the reflection. He is you, he is me, he is us, and like Epictetus, his chains are invisible, but they are chains all the same. Until he remembers a line from Marcus, a whisper from Seneca. a command from Epictetus. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The phone drops from his hand. He breathes. For the first time in years, he feels free. Marcus in the plague, Epictetus in chains, Seneca with poison, the modern man with his phone. Different worlds, same enemy, same weapon. Anxiety has worn many faces across history, but the cure has always been the same. Not escape, not indulgence, not distraction, but discipline, clarity, and the unshakable calm of a Stoic heart. Enough stories, enough whispers. Now we march. Anxiety is a war, and wars are not won by feelings. They are won by strategy, discipline, orders carried out without hesitation. So listen carefully. These are not suggestions. These are commands. Follow them or remain a prisoner. First rule of war: know what is yours to command. Know what is not. Your thoughts, yours. Your actions, yours. Your judgments, yours. But the weather, the market, the opinions of strangers, not yours. Stop bleeding energy into battles you cannot win. Conserve your fire. Strike only where your blade has reach. Epictetus whispered it. Science proves it. Now live it. When fear rises, pause. When anger burns, pause. When desire screams, pause. Breathe once. Breathe twice. 3 seconds. That is all it takes for your prefrontal cortex to awaken, for the commander of your mind to seize control from the amygdala. Do this daily, and anxiety will lose its claws. Strategy 3, negative visualization, 35 minutes to 36 minutes, 30 seconds. Imagine the loss before it comes. Your home, your job, your loved ones, even your life. Not to torture yourself, but to train yourself. The soldier who rehearses death does not panic when the arrows fly. The Stoic who rehearses loss does not shatter when life takes. Seneca called it premeditation of evils. Modern psychologists call it exposure. Call it whatever you like. It builds iron. Comfort weakens. Luxury softens. Indulgence enslaves. So train the other way. Sleep on the floor, fast for a day, take cold showers, walk when you could drive. Each small hardship is a drill. Each drill is armor. When real hardship comes, you will not tremble, you will smile, because you've been here before. Desire whispers, more money, more pleasure, more approval. Ignore it. It is poison. Duty shouts, protect, build, endure, serve, follow it. It is fire. A man who chases desire will always be a slave. A man who obeys duty becomes unbreakable. Ask yourself daily, what is my duty now? Then do it. Without hesitation, remember death every morning, every night, not to fear it, but to awaken. You waste hours scrolling. Would you waste them if you knew the sword of time hung above your head? You argue over trifles. Would you argue if you knew this was your last day together? Death is not your enemy. It is your compass, pointing you to what matters, pointing you home. Your armor must be tested daily. Journal each morning. What is in my control? Rehearse each night. What did I do well? What can I improve? When struck by insult, practice silence. When struck by fear, practice breath. When struck by temptation, practice refusal. Repeat, repeat, repeat. A Stoic is not made in a day. A Stoic is forged like steel, hammered by repetition, hardened by fire. This is your oath. Engrave it in your mind. When anger rises, pause. When fear hunts me, breathe. When desire whispers, ignore. When comfort seduces, resist. When death calls, accept. Say it aloud. Say it until your voice trembles. Say it until anxiety cannot breathe in your presence. This is not philosophy. This is not therapy. This is war. And you are the weapon. The world is chaos. Look around you, screens flashing, markets trembling, wars brewing, relationships breaking, dreams rotting in silence. Everywhere you turn, noise, confusion, anxiety, and in the middle of it all, you, a small figure, drowning, breath short, hands shaking, mind screaming. You whisper, "I can't," but the truth is, you can, if you dare. Marcus whispers through the storm, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Epictetus shouts, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Seneca warns, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." 3 voices, 3 swords, 3,000 years old, still sharper than any modern therapy, still burning hotter than any motivational speech, still alive if you are willing to wield them. The storm does not wait. It comes when your heart breaks, when the person you trusted most walks away without a word. It comes when your account empties, when every sacrifice, every hour, every plan crumbles into dust. It comes when the doctor shakes his head, when time itself feels like a thief stealing what you love. It comes when betrayal stabs deep from the hand you swore would never turn against you, and in that moment you will want to collapse, your knees trembling, your chest heavy, your throat tight with rage and despair. You will want to scream at God, at fate, at life itself. You will want to curse every unfair twist, every cruel injustice. You will want to drown in the ocean of your own fear, to let the darkness swallow you whole. But the Stoic does not collapse. The Stoic does not beg. The Stoic does not surrender. The Stoic breathes one calm, steady breath, even as the world burns. The Stoic stands, feet rooted like stone, while the winds of chaos tear at the earth. The Stoic endures, not because the pain is small, but because the soul is vast. The storm does not wait, but neither does the Stoic. He meets it head on. He absorbs its fury. He bends, but he does not break. And when the lightning fades and the thunder quiets, only one figure remains, unshaken, unmoved, alive. Your greatest war is not outside. It is not the job, not the boss who disrespects you, not the bills stacking on the table, not the economy, the headlines, or the chaos of the world. It is not even the lover who left you, the betrayal you never saw coming, the silence that cuts deeper than words. Number, your greatest war is inside. It is the battlefield no one else can see, the war fought in the shadows of your mind, the war that begins the moment you wake and does not end when you sleep. It is the amygdala firing fear like arrows. It is your mind spiraling with stories. What if? What if? What if? It is your soul forgetting its strength, bowing down to illusions, handing over its crown to phantoms. Anxiety is not your enemy. It is your training ground. Every wave that hits you is not punishment, but practice. Every tremor in your chest is a summons to battle. Every drop of sweat, every racing heartbeat is life forging you in fire. The Stoics did not run from anxiety. They faced it like soldiers in the arena. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show a man to himself." Marcus Aurelius whispered to himself each dawn, "You will meet pain. You will meet betrayal. You will meet fools. Endure and rise." Anxiety is not proof of your weakness. It is proof that you are alive and being tested. The test is simple. Will you be shaken or will you be sharpened? The world will not give you peace, not in your lifetime, not in any age. There will always be wars. There will always be corruption. There will always be storms. So you must forge peace, not in the streets, not in the bank account, not in the arms of another. Forge it inside. In the fortress no storm can breach. In the chamber of silence no insult can enter. In the unshakable ground that exists only when you command your own mind. Anxiety is the forge. Your breath is the hammer. Your discipline is the fire. Your soul is the iron. And with every strike, with every trial, you are reforged. Not fragile, not broken, but unstoppable. The world cannot give you peace. So you must carve it from stone. You must build it with your own hands. You must guard it with your own will. Inside, where no storm can touch it, where no tyrant can steal it, where no betrayal can reach it, there, and only there, you win the war. And now, the final truth, the truth you have avoided, the truth you have feared, the truth you cannot escape. The world will break you. Yes, it will cut you. Yes, it will betray you. Yes, it will test every bone, every nerve, every ounce of faith inside you. Life does not ask permission. It does not wait for your strength. It strikes in silence. It strikes without warning. It strikes until you are on your knees. But the question, the only question, the eternal question, is this: when the world comes for you, what will it find? Will it find you made of glass or of iron? Glass shatters. At the first blow, at the first insult, at the first betrayal, it explodes into pieces, never whole again. Iron does not shatter. Iron bends. Iron screams. Iron feels the weight of the hammer, but it does not give up its form. Glass cries for mercy. Iron bleeds, but still swings the sword. Glass hides from pain. Iron walks into the fire. Glass prays for safety. Iron forges itself in the storm. Glass fears death. Iron stares death in the eyes and says, "You are only nature. I am ready." Remember this: every scar you carry is proof you are iron. Every sleepless night is another strike of the hammer. Every betrayal is fire to your forge. You do not need an easy life. You need the strength to endure a hard one. You do not need to escape the storm. You need to become the storm. Glass is a prisoner. Iron is a warrior. Glass breaks once and is lost forever. Iron breaks 1,000 times and rises sharper every time. So choose, here, now, today. When the storm comes, and it will come, what will it find? A fragile thing, splintered at the first strike? Or a soul of iron, unbroken, unbending, eternal? Because in the end, life is not asking you to win. It is asking you to endure. And those who endure, those who do not break, those who meet the storm with iron in their soul, become unshakable. They become free. They become immortal. They become stoic. And in that silence, you will hear it. Not the chaos of the city, not the endless buzzing of notifications, not the voices of doubt that crawl through your skull like serpents. Number. You will hear something deeper, something ancient, something eternal, the steady, unshakable beat of your heart, calm, unmoved, stoic. It does not race with panic. It does not tremble with fear. It simply beats like a drum in the dark, like a warrior waiting for the dawn. And in that rhythm, you will find your anchor. The world will scream. Your mind will lie. But the heart knows the truth. The heart does not argue. The heart does not invent stories. The heart simply endures, beat after beat, moment after moment, unbroken. That is the moment anxiety dies, not with pills, not with running away, not with numbing the pain or drowning it in distractions. Number. Anxiety dies with mastery, with discipline, with acceptance. It dies when you stand still and let the storm crash against you. It dies when you realize the storm cannot touch the fortress within. It dies when you choose to face life as it is, raw, unfiltered, merciless, and say, "I will not collapse. I will not beg. I will not flee. I will endure. That is courage, not the absence of fear, but the command over it. That is strength, not the absence of weakness, but the choice to rise despite it. That is Stoicism, not philosophy and books, but war in the soul. And in that final breath of defiance, you will whisper the words that echo through eternity. I am iron. Break me if you can. Bend me, burn me, shatter me. Still, I endure. And the storm will pause, and the world will listen, and your soul will stand unshaken. Because once you master yourself, no storm, no enemy, no fear can master you.